Hey everyone, this is Sean Smith and this is video 5 of your 7-part video series on the 7 deadliest goal-setting mistakes that will absolutely kill your direct sales business, how to avoid it, and how to create the lifestyle that you want so you can have more fun, less fear, and just get in motion and get everything out of this business opportunity that you possibly can. Today's topic is something I love to talk about, and it's all about control. The deadliest goal-setting mistake number 5 is creating goals and outcomes that you don't control. Now, you are in the direct sales business, and here's the great thing about that and the bad thing about that. The great thing is that you literally have unlimited potential. You know, you can sell as much as you want and recruit as much as you want and build as big a team as you want and create leverage and create an abundance of cash flow and create a lot of time freedom. You know, there truly is no ceiling on the opportunity. Here's the bad thing. In order to do that, you have to deal with people, right? It doesn't matter what opportunity you're in, what product or service you're selling, you're really in the people business. Now, the reason that is such a negative in terms of the focus of this video is that you can't control other people. And your unconscious mind is a control freak. We are all unconscious control freaks. One of the things the unconscious mind absolutely hates is being out of control. So there's an inherent challenge here. The inherent challenge is pretty much all of your results in direct sales are based on other people doing stuff. They're based on other people buying products. They're based on other people joining your business. They're based on other people building their business, right? And the more that we can do those three things, the more reward, recognition, bonuses, income, and so forth that you get. So herein lies the big challenge. How do you focus on and motivate yourself to go after tangible outcomes that are going to give you what you want in this business when you don't control those tangible outcomes? Well, here's how you do it. It's very similar to the previous lesson around affirmations. Let's say your goal is to reach a certain position of your company, whatever the title is. I think last video I used district manager as an example, so I'll use that one again. Let's say your goal is to hit district manager. That's the title that you're going after. What most people will do is say, by September 30th of 2015, whatever the date is, I want to be a district manager. So you set a goal around it. You might set an affirmation around it. You know, I'm going to be a district manager by this date and by this time. Now, there's a level of goal setting that really requires, or there's a concept rather that requires specificity and clarity when you set your goals. So I don't have any problem with a goal like that. The problem is when that's all you focus on from that point forward, because if my goal today is to hit this position over the next 90 days, let's say, when I wake up tomorrow, I probably won't have hit that goal. And now the clock's ticking, right? Now I've only got 89 days. And then I wake up the day after, now I've got 88 days. Then I've got 87 days. But this goal isn't going anywhere, and generally it doesn't feel like, we're getting any closer to that goal. So what usually happens, especially as you get closer to the goal inside of 30 days, 2 weeks, and so forth, a lot of people just freak out because the pressure starts to mount. And it causes a lot of desperation, especially if you're emotionally attached to this goal. If you've told all kinds of people, this is my time and I'm really going to hit this goal this time and it's going to be different. You've got your ego on the line and your pride on the line. You create a bunch of emotional attachment to that goal, and those emotional attachments aren't positive because they create expectations. They create the tendency to maybe step outside your boundaries or your morals. Sometimes you want to do anything to get that goal. But usually when you're willing to do anything to get that goal, that's not a positive frame of mind, especially if the temptations are, doing things that are against the rules or doing things just for a short-term fix. But long term, it really kills your business. That's what happens when people are too attached to this goal. So all of that negative energy is usually created as you get closer and closer to this tangible goal that's driven by a date, right? And a lot of people say, but your dates or your goals have to have dates and deadlines on them so you can create urgency. But I understand that. However, for most people, a date on a goal doesn't create urgency as much as it creates fear. Because the closer you get to that date, the more you start thinking about failing again. And if you've already had that goal and you're going to fail again, then all of the negative emotions around failure are going to show up. Now here's what I know to be true. The unconscious mind doesn't need a date for urgency. If you really get clear on what your purpose is and what you're passionate about and what your values are, and you really drill down at the unconscious and emotional and intangible level, like I was talking about with the affirmations in video number 4, and you create the passion, the connection with what internally inspires you to act, you're not going to need this deadline for urgency. When your unconscious mind gets plugged into what really truly drives it at a deeper level, it wants it now. You don't need to create any false urgency to get you in motion, right? So contrary to popular belief, and I think what we're taught often, you don't need to continue focusing on that date. Here's my suggestion to you. Once you have the date, which you don't control, and it's based on outcomes that you basically don't control because you're dealing with people, you've got to create a game plan. Now, maybe that game plan shows up like, in order for me to hit this goal in 90 days, I've got to do, and there's a whole formula to create the game plan. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but maybe you look at how many interviews do you have to do, how many products do you need to sell, how many parties do you need to book, or meetings do you need to go to, and so forth, or run. And eventually, like, how many phone calls do you need, blah, blah, blah. And let's say you end up with, all right, in order to get this goal, my game plan calls for 20 phone calls every day, right? If I do 20 phone calls every day, then that should create the momentum to hit this goal. Now, this game plan here is based on this goal. So once the game plan is created, I'm going to go like this, because these are like the steps of the game plan, right? Once this game plan is created, you can take the top off and you don't need the date anymore. You don't even need the goal anymore. Now this is what you should focus on. And if the focus is on 20 phone calls a day, that's something that you can do. And it's something that you can do today. So if you do your 20 phone calls today, regardless of who answers, regardless of what outcomes you get over the phone, if you do your 20 phone calls, you win. You get to feel accomplished. You get to feel like you did something and you completed it, which is a huge driver at the unconscious level, right? A lot of people make the mistake of having goals that are like, I'm going to book 5 people per week, or I'm going to recruit 2 people a week. But those goals, even though they're chunked down from the original goal, they're still based on things that you don't control. And there's only a few things that you actually do control. Picking up the phone and dialing numbers and making sounds, right? You can control that. You don't control if they answer. And you don't control anything after that. But you control if you pick it up and make, and make sounds and dial the numbers. You control if you start a conversation. You control if you open your mouth and more sounds come out. You don't control if they say anything back, but you can control initiating a conversation. You can control handing out a business card. You can control putting out a box, like in a business or something. And actually, I would drill down from there. And you can't even really control getting the permission to put the box in, but you can control asking the business owner if you can put a box out. You can control, buying a booth at a trade show or something. So there's only a few things that you actually control that then lead to all the results that you want. But if you want to give yourself permission to get in motion and commit, you've got to drill back down to the things that you can control. And every single day, if you do those things, regardless of the outcomes that you get, you win. And that's the way that you can create game plans that are based 100% on controllable activities instead of uncontrollable outcomes. Uncontrollable outcomes equals frustration, pain, irritation, fear of failure for most people. Controllable activities, though, equals accomplishment. Generally, people feel looser, like, oh, I only have to do 20 phone calls? Yeah, you only have to do 20 phone calls. And sometimes you're going to make 20 phone calls and get nobody to even answer. Sometimes you're going to make 20 phone calls and book 5 people. It's going to go up and down from the results perspective, but if you can just stay even with your 20 phone calls or whatever your game plan ends up being, I promise you, you'll be better. And now here's the thing. A lot of people will say, well, you got to focus on the goal, though. If you don't focus on the goal, you don't have a target and you can't get in motion. Listen, regardless of where you focus, the only thing that matters for you to grow your business is doing the activities. So you can either focus on the target or you can focus on the activities. You have to do the activities regardless. In my experience, 97% of the people that focus on the goal don't do the activities because of all the negative stuff that focusing on the goal creates. And I would say the opposite is almost exactly true. Almost everybody that focuses on the activities does the activities. Doing the activities is what's important here. That's the only thing that's going to get you in motion. It's the only thing that's going to lead to outcomes. So focusing on the activities, if that gets you in motion, then please do that. Right? Don't continue following a recipe that doesn't work for you. Do the things that work, do the things that get you in motion, and very soon you're going to have much better results. I promise you're going to have a lot less emotional strife and conflict and so forth. So hopefully that makes sense. And I got to tell you, this is probably, I would say, top 1 or 2 mind-blowingly powerful yet simple changes to make in your goal setting. And if you're a leader and you have team members, teach this to them. You'll be blown away at how easy it is for them to get in motion now when they have permission to just focus on the activities and not be bombarded and judged around the results. So hope that makes sense. Ask a comment or ask a question or leave a comment and I'll respond when I can. Take care, everybody. I'll come to you with the next video in this 7-part series about the deadliest goal-setting mistakes you can make in your direct sales business. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.